have everything to do, everything to build, and I wonder if we see something unique here. We saw a lot of teams go for that short plant with wraps through mid and such and so on. So there's a lot of viability towards that. I wonder if it's the case.
PENTA, I think, against Virtus.pro had this weird smoke strat on A that allowed them to wrap actually around the back of red container. I think it was them anyway. They won't have to here though, because Crystal finds AZ early on and Rain finds himself all alone on the site. He at least tries to take cover here, and it's a good little headshot towards Mike as he walks into the crosshair on that occasion. Now, the reinforcements on the Ray, but Rain,
he doesn't need it.
He's raining on the parade right now. Look at these shots coming in here. Lola falls. Stefan at least responds on towards Ali. People are trying to ignore Rain, but that's not going to make him go away. He's going to turn around and get yet another kill on that round. It's been 4 for him, and he single-handedly shuts down PENTA pushing on towards that side.
It's unbelievable to see people give away that sort of the map control to begin with. When you're doing an A-take, let's say you get the bomb down, some of the most dangerous areas to give away without any sort of contest or pressure back is that forklift push-up, because once you get there, you're not that safe from it. So already at this point, the bomb's tendering to go down. Rain's already started to kick things off. You can see instantly they're trying to get it back, but the shots he starts to hit, instantly pulls himself into an angle, nails Tarsin. Gets the rest of his team to start pulling their attention, claims Lol's forehead as well. It's just like this beautiful play. This guy is such gorgeous aim that you just don't see. Finds a touch and cover there, completely in control, never looked pressured, but it was a close round, so PENTA are going to buy back into it. This could be tough for them though, not going to be an easy one for them to pull through.
Yeah, with PENTA obviously getting enough money, they can work into a couple AKs, a couple Deagles here, and a Tech 9 for Lol. For FaZe, it's going to be a P90 for Jacob here, and that'll just be to catch any potential rush towards B, although that's not going to be forthcoming at this stage. It's mostly PENTA players set up in towards mid. Tarsin wants to try and peek over the top of boost here, but the smoke obscures his vision to a degree. A couple flashes up there. And it will be Ali waiting around the corner here as well. The duel comes in. Ali wins out with the UMP, so that's pretty darn good, if you ask me. And now Mykes at least trades that one back. Ali hasn't left, though. Still sitting outside of this smoke. PENTA being kept in mid.
He couldn't leave. If he tried to, they were already spamming that smoke. He had to bide his time. Now, for PENTA, that's a really worrying problem because they can't clear it without committing something towards it. Whether it be Stefan over jump and they're not sure where he is, and it can be such a huge hindrance. And AC's going to try and play off the back of this. He's, the big shining beacon of, you guys need to take me down, you know you do. And they do it just about cleanly enough. Stefan will find him and bring it back to a 4v3. So FaZe still with a deficit, going to have to try and play from the baseline.
PENTA have opened this round up quite nicely here. They got that mid control, or at least they might not realise it, but they do. But Jacob with the P90, this is going to be a key piece here. A little bit of pre-fire coming out from Crystal, and Jacob tries to take another fight, but he's going to be pincered in. Nice work by PENTA just to get the numbers advantage. Keo, just one quick kill, that's enough for him. He gets information, and he's going to now back away. There's smoking towards Hell here, so he and AZ are going to have to just work from this position here.
Time.
Grenade comes in, 2 health here for Lol, enough to get the bomb, but that would have been the round there with just 1 nade. But it's not going to be enough here. Stefan is still healthy and has an AK in hand. No armor, though, inside Checker.
This is going to be really tough as a retake to hold on to for PENTA. Already the pressure comes in. Stefan plays his role well, but Keo plays his even better. Going to pick up the kit that was on his teammate, AZ, and the defuse will come out. But as you said, that bomb plant could have already been hindered. But PENTA, basically the problem is now that both teams will be going through this really forced up purchase period. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if PENTA go back in on a buy here because they know they brought it close. It's tempting to abscond away and then say, all right.
It's what FaZe do, actually. FaZe did this to Dignitas when they played against each other on Mirage the other week. They had about this money, and they just kept forcing, and eventually wore them down. UMP for AZ. I mean, I love that. That was really nicely set up, by the way. Kiyoshima had the trade set up really well. Teams that can establish infrastructure for quick trades on the fly in pressure situations are always going to have that step up on their opponents.
And that nade is so deadly. Look at AZ dying to get in there as well. If someone could flash him in, I think Rain's coming around to do it. Yeah, Rain's going to come and flash him in. It gives AZ complete unleash. Here we go. Goes for it. 3 players blinded up. Anything's a bonus. Spots the bomb. He had the UMP. This should set up everyone else. Rain's going to fall back. Doesn't have any support. Gets overwhelmed. He tried to get the pop flash ready. Wasn't quick enough on that. And now Alu has to come in. Turns the odds in their favor. Now playing almost the same spot Rain was in before. Showing a bit of magic there. Keo denies the plant. Spraying in through the smoke. They know where that bomb was intending to go down now. And now Tarsin left with a very impossible task. No armor as well. Very tricky for him to find a way into. At least has the bomb and a minute to spare, but 3 players to hinder him.
Yeah, hoping to get a plant here, but with where Alu's set up at A forklift, you can just peek into this one fairly easily. Tarson maybe just lingers a little bit too long there, and FaZe get the first 3, although the scoreboard doesn't quite tell the whole story. However, Penta continually buying into these rounds, it hasn't borne them any fruit. Eventually, they're just going to have to chill, and this might be the round. They're going to force up into Deagle. See, they can force up to about 2K, 1800, and still be okay now as they're building up a bit of a round loss bonus as well. But this is by far, which is not even remotely an ideal situation for them now. Tarson has some armor. They tried to force up, they failed. Now they've got to play on a CS.
Okay, Penta, Deagles galore, pretty much. Yeah, they can do damage, let's be real here. Oh, however, head armor throughout, gonna kind of make it a little bit trickier. But for Penta, the best thing you can hope for, bomb plants. Any sort of damage is a benefit. Only Tarson with the armor, 0 utility as well. They're basically hoping that FaZe get a little bit haphazard like that. Alu standing right slap bang out in mid, not great, but Jacob's now being played in. Play from the vents himself, but Tarson's there. And now Reyna in the open. What is going on with these positions? FaZe, what are you up to? It's going to be pulled back in line by AZ, but this is still a very, very sloppy round.
Really aggressive by FaZe there as well. You can see constantly peeking in the mid, peeking in towards vents, peeking in towards lobby, coming in from highway, always trying to peek and try and just shut Penta the heck down. Penta are plucky, and they have aim. They've been around for a while. They don't play the game. I mean, there's no reason for FaZe to maybe just be so reckless towards them now. So, you know, FaZe also had some financial hardship in these first few rounds, trying to buy up a couple weapons and try and make them work. I've got a bit more money, sure, but I don't want to be throwing guns away like that as well. Stefan, oh dear, tries to go for something there, but Keo will survive. He will be ready for that one there as well. It's going to be AZ and Keo, and the smoke clears left standing.
And that could have been the round to really push FaZe's economy to stability. That was the round. If they had a nice clean round, they could have actually done something with that. Now it's still okay. They still got, you know, 3K on 1, but it's not ideal. It could have been so much more for them, but because it got so close, it allows one Penta to come back into this with, you know, mollies. They've got a nice AWP on Mike S. You know, they've got a really decent buy. They have the early boost up here to try and peek towards mid, and that could work out well. If he hops up here to try and get a higher angle, I'm not sure if the person below him's already crouched. That could be hindrance because Ali's watching this. He's going to see that nade, and he knows what's coming. Now they have to back away and readjust, because those early forays, those little bit of exchanges here and there, is such a telling sign to start off with.
Smoke now refreshing in towards A main. It's just going to be Tarson here. A presence at A. Smoke in A main now as well. So the rest of Penta joining him, although no real reason for Penta to be so dedicated to this, maybe even faking it. You see Mike has already pulled out, and AZ still not quite sure what to be expecting here. Again, Penta have been put in this position before. In this half, in this game, the last 5 rounds, they were very, very low on time earlier in the game, and that was where FaZe managed to set up a nice little trade. But here's a mid-execute, cutting it off.
And basically isolates people. If there was anyone pushed up close, they would be already taken down. But Alu took a little bit of an overextended peek there, wanted to get the info really badly, and I think he got spotted out. So got sprayed down, and now this is normally a kind of mid to B split, pretty much. 3 through mid, maybe 2 through B, however they like to proposition it. But the problem is that Jacob's in a really nice spot for this, depending how he plays it. He tries to take the early fight, tries to swing up before the molly came in, didn't go so well. Now Keo's left in a really awkward spot, 4 players possibly to pressure him. So again, this looks like it's all but Pentas, but then again, it's still Keo. There's support on the way, but very hard to hold them back at this point. But Keo does a blinding job, finds 2, but his teammate fell in the meantime, leaving a 1v3 where AZ is outnumbered and outgunned.
He's going to push on towards the side anyway. Try and stop the bomb. Time. The bomb goes loose. 8 seconds left on the clock. Marcus trying to get towards the side. He's going to get an AWP. It's not going to work out. AZ all over it there. Easy enough for the man at 3 kills to completely stop Penta in their tracks. Not a good look for the Germans as FaZe pull their trump card right up their sleeve.
Unreal play. That is just so unreal. Let's just watch this back. Like from start to finish, AZ here. He's just trying to stop the plant, does whatever he can, but picking up Law was such a benefit. That was such a random bonus that you can't account for. And then AZ, what a sick bit of play. That's pulled FaZe right back into that really nice, comfortable lead. Oh my word, Penta. Again, so unfortunate.
Keo just setting up a counter boost now into towards mid. Quite a strong position really early on, but AZ going to peek in towards A main. Even further than that, this confidence is buoying him forward, but it's definitely carrying him into these situations where he's just so audaciously finding kills. So much information as well from him about what's happening over at A that the rest of FaZe can now converge on B. There are smokes up, there's some Molotov inside checkers, but it's still a safe zone for the moment for FaZe.
And I like the way the PENTA approaches, though, with the mollies. They came in, they had an intention, they had a plan in mind, but the bomb now being dropped, that was Mike S's responsibility, and he couldn't get away with it, sadly for him, but now it's Kiyoshima's turn to shine. Of course, leaving Lowell, though, in the 1v3. Certainly plausible. He's got the armor, he's got a nice weapon he's recovered. I'm not sure if he can get away with this, though. The bomb's in such an awkward spot, has to cross past 3 players to get back to it, and Alu's not going to let that happen. FaZe pull this one ahead now.
It means nothing to me until they've won the game, to be honest. So if they have a 13-round lead half, sorry, don't want to hear about it. I just want to see a game closed out. But FaZe start well. Again, it's these individual wizardry. It's these Houdini moments. It's making these disappear. It's cutting teams off at the legs. Except without the actual putting them back together at the end wizardry. FaZe really dominant so far in this one, but now PENTA again want to set up in towards this boost, get a couple players up there by the looks of things, multiple players. Oh, nice. Stefan is mad good at run and gun. It's just stupid. He's done this multiple times now as well. Accurate on the move, the man gets that first kill, and now he just doesn't know what hit him.
No, but look at the response, though, instantly from FaZe. You've got Rain pushed up in towards A main, so that cuts off that approach, makes it really hard to work from that. AZ knows the highway's a bit of an issue. He's going to play with that in mind now, but there's always going to be a problem somewhere. You're going to see, though, FaZe responding so well, and it's so impressive to watch. They can still lose this, but it's the right mentality to try and regain some control. Now, PENTA have got to realize this. They've got to know that that is exactly what they'd be doing if they were on the CT side. So how do they approach it? They should clear this corner every day of the week. Now, the flash goes there, perfect. That hit there implies they're going to check it. But Rain can do well on just 1 HP. Perfect flash as well. He didn't make anything out from it. Eventually, Mike S just sprayed, luckily, into the right place at the right time. There's still a molly with AZ, but he has no support here. Sport's en route, and Jacob, he's in trouble and he doesn't even know it. Oh, positioning there as well. Yeah, PENTA heading it straight in towards him. Jacob thought he was the hunter. Of course, he became the hunter very, very quickly. Tarson catches Kiyoshima. Catch is a word we're using all the time for these FaZe players, or too far, or too deep, or too aggressive. But AZ not looking too good in this situation now. For 1v4, FaZe have obviously had the time to build up a reasonable economy. Some of these rounds have been very, very close, so the 6-0 does not tell the whole story. And again, they'll have to buy up for yet another round. For FaZe, fortunately, or unfortunately perhaps, not a lot of money. This is what I'm saying. They were 6-0. They'll lose their first round, and they're forced, well, I mean, Jacob can't really buy here. They're going to have to pass something around to him or try and make something happen here. Close rounds, PENTA have been chomping at the bit, and FaZe just teeter too far over the edge. And they get their economy was broken by themselves. PENTA, now's your chance. You know, take back control of this one. Early smoke there to deny the molly on the boost, so they can get up there nice and quickly. Just gives them a little bit of control. Alu's going to be forced away as well. Can't use that deagle anymore in that position. And Rain's going to go find a bit of a cheeky spot if he can. Just try and find somewhere to play around. FaZe going for the complete A stack almost. Kiyo's playing more of like a connector role. Everyone's just kind of working together, trying to find angles that will work for them, where they can trade off, get a gun away or two. But PENTA are keeping hold of their mollies as well. So eventually, once they make that sight hit, that's where it's going to come in. But Tarson's not careful. There could have been trouble, but no, he finds it in the end. Rain's not going to get away with anything in that one. A little bit of info gathered, but no bomb spotted, nothing beyond that. So no concrete evidence to work off.
FaZe are just going to try and speculate here or make a bit of a play based off of an assumption. But you can see what they're set up here. They're trying to boost a player in front of A-main or set up some sort of trade scenario in towards Squeaky, I think. But again, nothing to come of it. PENTA have the whole run of this B side. Now, Alu is eventually going to head back and at least just try and spot something out, maybe catch someone across as they come with a deagle. You can see that PENTA are very diligently canvassing this side out with the utility. A couple of mollies come down. There's also a smoke towards Hell below Alu. They leave Heaven open as well. They want Alu to peek. They want to be able to pick him up as he sort of peeks his head through there. A chance to whittle down the defenders even further. Alu does find ahead of Lol eventually there. The first 3 shots were very wayward, but that fourth, not bad at all. No, certainly finding its marker. And PENTA keeping this clean so far. And this is what you need. This is the disparity from FaZe to PENTA that... I say this now, and it will probably go terribly wrong for them, but PENTA have been keeping these rounds clean when they're in control. They play it to how you should, to an aspect, whereas FaZe, you know, it gets quite sloppy, it gets quite lackadaisical almost. It's quite hard to keep an eye on, and could have gone worse there. Kiyo, desperate to take another one. Didn't expect Crystal to be so close as well there. So Alu now going to try and do the same. Crikey, 3 players right next to each other there. Doesn't get anything away from that. So again, 4 players left standing, a bomb plant,
exactly what you need for PENTA to start building up your own money. And look at the difference here. They're already up to 7K on certain players.
Yeah, and that's a reward to PENTA as well for actually being able to inflict reasonable economic damage on FaZe, even in rounds where PENTA were coming in at a huge disadvantage, or maybe forcing pistols, or even not forcing anything at all. They're still getting, you know, 2, 3 kills. Now, those players need guns to be bought for them, or their guns to be rebought by teammates, right? Eventually you get this lopsided economy on your team, and even if you have 6 rounds in a row won, you're not actually building an economy at all. That's why FaZe had to save. That's why PENTA get 2 rounds for the price of 1, essentially, because they put in the hard yards already.
I'm going to make something happen with very limited amounts. Jaken with that Mag 7, trying to play on the edge of the smoke, hoping something would come bounding through. Not the case. A bit of a spam play, just trying to catch that wall as much as he can. AZ looking for any bits of advantage he can carve away early, which isn't going to happen. PENTA playing this really nicely. Very solid, passive approach, holding basically all the pushes. Seeing if FaZe will play to them. They don't have to rush. They can get the utility away from FaZe as well, which is even more important. If you take the utility away, by the time the hit comes, you've got a clean run in, right? So basically you can use all your mollies, all your smokes, all your flashes completely uncontested. And that's what FaZe PENTA are doing. There's down to a couple of flashes and a nade now on FaZe. There's no kit either. So if that bomb does go down, it's looking even more favorable towards PENTA. And slowly but surely, it does look like the B hit's going to come in. And it's going to be down to Keo and Jaken to stop it.
Keo should be flushed out pretty quickly, yeah. Sort of Molotov coming there towards Vent. There should also be one thrown in towards Checkers, to be honest, and they do put it there. Christy goes to challenge there. Jacob gets an easy kill. He jumps past him like a bunny rabbit now. 2 for 2 trade overall on that side. Not only does that whittle PENTA down, it buys some time for FaZe. Rain thought about challenging Tarson in mid, but Tarson actually just decides to back away. Just try and bolster his team's forces over here on the side. Now that may got to come through, does skin there, but Marquez catches Aloe as it does come on through there. Really no damage done by the grenade, definitely not worthwhile. Now AZ coming in through Checker, decent position in this case. And Rain coming in from hell, if I'm not mistaken. He's actually going to come in from the lower level. So interesting now, 2 players up against 3. Oh, Stefan just in the corner. AZ knew he was there, but he couldn't get the trade. Good position from Stefan. Gets the 1v2 and gets another round for PENTA.
Yeah, clean as well. 3 left alive, and their money is becoming more and more robust. And as you highlighted, not the same can be said for FaZe there. So they're going to have to suffer throughout this one. Probably an eco, maybe to stack somewhere, try and make a play towards mid.
Eagles.
But PENTA so far have been very, very, very diligent at approaching these rounds. They've been able to kind of focus them out in the best way possible. So losing minimal players, getting consistent plants, you know, having a really nice approach. Hopefully they don't lose that mentality and get, you know, a little bit, you know, sidetracked or a little bit unfocused. Because so far it's been absolutely perfect.
Again, FaZe just blinking in and out of existence sometimes in these rounds, or at least between these rounds. Keo backing up on towards the side. Tarson again. They're here. The rest of PENTA want to canvas mid. They want to control it here. For the most part, FaZe are giving up control of this part of the map. They don't really want to take these long-range duels with just pistols. Maybe a peek here and there for Rain with the Deagle, but that's going to be it. And again, that's very much just wishful thinking from the man himself. Norwegian national has had a few good moments with the Deagle, but again, doesn't want to risk it in this round. Still, Tarson manages to clear out Alu and Rain there fairly comfortably. That was through mid as well, picking up on towards highway and towards mid. So Jacob now drawn out. And then there's going to be caught there as Crystal just comes straight through towards Checkers. And it's going to be straightforward from here. Crystal finds Kiyoshima, and AZ is not even, well, remotely close really to the action.
I'm enjoying this every time I see PENTA do this. They consistently end up on B, they consistently take map control, and they just don't lose out on players. It's a broken record, sure, but it's such an impressive factor. It's going to take something quite impressive from FaZe on their buy round to actually be able to, you know, stop this from happening, to stop the rot as such, because at the moment, you've got PENTA just giving them a masterclass on how you should approach this. It feels like, again, though, FaZe lose that little bit of focus. They lose a little bit of that, you know, surgical element, I guess you could call it. Like, some teams are so clinical in the way they approach rounds, and we just haven't seen that from FaZe today.
Well, if these guys are surgeons, Frankenstein was a neuroscientist. I'm sorry, Lauren. Making a meal of this one. AZ at least gets that shot on towards Stefan. Yeah, I mean, a scratch maybe, but that's it. So PENTA with 4 on the trot here. FaZe obviously forced in towards Deagles, and that took him to maybe, what, 17, 1800. So they can sort of buy up here again, but no AWP is going to be in the mix. A lot of money being spent, no kits. That's a very crucial point. Absolutely.
it just adds a lot of pressure on the retake, basically. It means that you either have to stop it before it happens, or you better be crisp on that one, because PENTA have mollies to buy time, they'll have flashes, they'll have nades. They will be able to create something without having to utilize everything. And I wonder if they switch up the pace, switch up a different approach here. I'm just curious to see what PENTA now bring, because they're showing depth, which is something that we were curious if they had against teams like Virtus.pro. They certainly did. At least on this map specifically, they definitely did. And their B hits looked very, very good. Now though, Jacob gonna try and get a little aggressive. He's gonna see where that nade came from, finds a lovely angle for it too. So if PENTA, or if it's Crystal, if he tries to back away or takes a bit of a fight and doesn't expect someone to be watching that, he could be in trouble, because it's not initially an angle you always peek. So nice for him to use the smoke and back away from this. They are teasing the utility out of FaZe as well. A couple of nades used, a couple of smokes.
Crystal there is gun, I believe, a tribute to Cali, if I'm not mistaken.
Christ.
Doesn't find too much there towards Sunroom. It's just a bit of a tickle from the nade. What's this Fallen Devil, so I don't know. Anyway, Alu creeping in towards mid. He's got tight stickers all over it, but now he's just going to be flashing in towards mid. Again, buying some time. PENTA in wild disarray right now. They haven't found the easy ins that they're normally finding in these rounds. No one from FaZe is actually just peeking out of the rabbit hole very early, and in turn, PENTA have to go deep down it to even get information.
Rain and AZ might be the two players to have to keep this one in line at the moment.
I love where Rain is at.
Yeah, it almost worked out before with the pop flashes, but they are checking it. This is the brilliance of having all this utility. PENTA with such a good approach here, methodical, clean, and FaZe now in trouble. AZ's doing wonders, but Stefan in the meantime had split a pie away. They had no one watching it. And again, FaZe depending on individuals to pull their weight rather than the tactical ability or reading how the round's playing out at the moment. They are being outdone very simply by PENTA here.
Jacob at least gets the kill on towards Lol in mid, making it a 2v2, but the bomb is down. A lot of work to be done. Mikes might have good peak timing here as well. He gets Alu, but he just misses the shot. It goes thunning in towards the metalwork of the forklift. And this is going to allow Alu to just reposition here. Jacob as well can get set up. He knows Tarson's behind quad. He's going to jump on top and come straight from above. Easy kill there. Tarson falls down. Mikes with a screen of smoke in his way. Bomb's being defused there as well. Great peak timings from Alu. And one way or another, FaZe saved that round. It wasn't AZ and Rain. It was the second line of defense coming through there. It's funny because I said I liked Rain's position, but I completely forgot that we'd seen that from him around prior. Yep. And PENTA already tried to clear that corner. They didn't at the time have the utility to do that. But then he goes back there again, and well, this time PENTA had a molly, and they just waited for him to come out. So maybe not so nice. No,
but credit to Alu. This is what I'm saying, that FaZe can depend on these individuals to pull this sort of stuff off. But it's not something that you go, okay, they intended for that to happen. They intended that Alu would have to pull off a 1v3 pretty much, or, you know, play along against 3 players. He can do it, definitely. They can all do these sort of things, but is it something you want to bank on? And you'd bank on Alu hitting that shot every day of the week. Stefan having a big performance. This guy's been impressing me today.
He's got balls as well to go for that second peak against an Orpa who already tagged him up, no less. I like it. Good stuff, Stefan. And the FaZe side of mid goes pretty darn quiet. Jacob again tries that spot for the second time. This time he actually gets to do something with it. I think last time he had to pull out of it and head back towards the site. He probably shouldn't do that again. Probably shouldn't pull a Rain. Still, though, gets the kill, and that's sort of what matters here as well. So now we're at a 4v4. PENTA are just sitting back on their heels for a moment. They always have Tarson very advanced in position towards his A side. He always sits very, very deep in towards Squeaky, just so he can burst out of the rest of his team. But PENTA still seem to want to work A. Now peeks in towards A main. Rain and AZ are going to be at red container. Jacob in a position to rotate quickly, but Mikes is in mid. So Jacob versus Mikes, that's a very important little back and forth. And Jacob's very, very low here. So instead, he opts just to pull straight out, but AZ gets picked off there as well because Jacob didn't try and take control of mid. Mikes was free to go for the pick, and now Tarson walks on towards the side. Rain falls down. Jacob forced to back away because he had no health, and Keo might just be joining him here.
Yeah, it's time to save these guys. Very well fought out there by PENTA. Taking mid control and just hitting those shots. It was Mike S finding that shot towards AZ that impressed me. He was the one with the AWP looking for those possibilities, and Mike S just outdid him. Of course, AZ's not particularly the main AWPer here, and you just got to see that really coming through.
The problem is that I don't think AZ was watching towards mid because Jacob was sat in lobby. So very, very close towards mid, but something put him down to 19 health, and it was the trade he actually had at B main. So obviously Jacob was set up on the box in B main, won the trade out, then he went in towards mid. He was watching mid, just not the right part of it there as well. Then he left, then Mikes moved a little bit further up, and then he managed to pick off Rain over on that A site. Far from ideal there as well. That may have been communicated, and Rain may have been looking in the direction of mid. I think he was at some point. I saw him looking there when Jacob was still around. Anyway, it's by the by. Point is that because Jacob was so low, he couldn't effectively control mid. He couldn't actually stamp his seal of approval on that part of the map and actually control it. He allowed it to get a Mike S, and that is how you unravel an A-hole from highway with an AWP or anything, really. But definitely nice all peaks there from the Dutchman.
I feel as though this game's going to go close again, Mitch. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those where PENTA have started to, once they do get a grip on it, they can take it as far as they need to. Whereas FaZe, I feel as though they still need that big start, or, you know, something to go right for them at the beginning, which is so strange to almost even consider. It's so odd, but at the moment, I've got to feel PENTA are really in control here. Their depth yet to be really pushed by FaZe. FaZe, however, trying something a little bit new. They are on a bit of a shoddy buy, so probably as to why. Having 3 players towards mid and kind of playing completely outside of the other side. It's AZ all the way by truck. You do have Jacob in by B, but this is mostly around trying to catch that mid play.
I want to see FaZe not lose a player first in this round. They're not losing before 40 seconds remain. Because if PENTA go double smoke mid, Molotovs in towards corner and towards Venda, they could have caught those guys out, but they don't. They're going towards B. So there's got to be a pretty darn quick response here from Alu. I don't even want him to go first, to be honest with you. Perhaps Rain better for that job. Follow up. I mean, it's all the same really between them, but PENTA pulled out of B. Interesting.
I think they're trying to find info. There you go. Finally, they get a bit of a pick here. Alu could be played in off the back. Can't make anything happen. PENTA looked for an option, pulled FaZe out positions, and then went for the hit, just making sure they catch them in a bit of an unfavorable position. Jacob gets swept aside. Crystal, see, this is the thing with Crystal as well. He's been playing that kind of B lurking role, always being a pressuring factor, and you wouldn't put him in anywhere near the same category as, let's say, you get rights or such, you know, a real, true, I guess, excellent specialist at it. But he certainly has a real ability for doing that sort of thing. And he's been consistently pestering and making it very hard for FaZe to actually feel comfortable on the back of that. And, well, this is another one for PENTA with 5 players alive.
This stage is going to be going to 7 and 6 before the half. So I have to say, you know, PENTA with Kyrie did manage to catch some of their matches. They look a lot more commanding right now. Look very good here with Stefan coming into the lineup. To see if that's going to be enough to get them over the line here. We'll just pick Kyo. Just toddling off. Toodaloo, as it were. It's going to take 5 over here on the A side as that round does end. So again, I mean, having those 2 players trying to play mid-close is risky. Late round, maybe you're not expecting that, you know, the double smoke and the Molotov execute in towards mid to isolate those players, followed up with a flash. But still, PENTA, I like that. I like the flexibility that they have to still pivot around the middle of the map and go back to mid and go, hey, well, we didn't get anything at B. I wonder what's happening over at mid. Maybe they've gotten complacent. Maybe they've tried to sort of move into position and they think we've committed, and bam. They got those 2 easy picks, and then that was, well, the rest was history, really.
The thing is, let's be very honest about this. So far, PENTA have gone 1-1 with Virtus Pro. In theory, if this keeps going the way it is, they could be going 1-1 with FaZe. They could be they could be real contenders this season for actually causing some real upsets. Before, they were kind of more cannon fodder-esque in previous iterations of the Pro League, but if this keeps up, this is quite genuinely a very competitive lineup we're seeing with a very nice approach. I think teams will have to be approaching this with a bit of a different mentality next time it comes around, of, you know, being careful about the map pool that they pick against these guys, because Cash is certainly something very impressive.
LOL was a big level up, and I think Mike S is coming in, taking the AWP from Crystal and giving him the chance to lurk a bit was also a good decision for this team. Tarstan came in from Killerfish about a year ago as their main caller as well. So this is like a super different move. It used to be like Crisby, Stavros, Strux. Very different looking PENTA team now as well. But this is probably the strongest one I've seen. It's the reason why they rule the roost in Germany, but it's nice to see that some of those results sort of translate across here. Rain, hit it, Rain, come on. Oh my God. He gets it in the end. Tarstan does fall. Again, it's traded over. AZ falls on the site now, and you can see Ali cheeky little position there for the forklift. There's his pistols doing good work. Nicely done by Ali. Might even get himself a 3rd. Mike S goes for a pick. Still so audacious. Dropping Ali towards 5 health, and he finishes him off there. That fell to pieces for PENTA. Up against pistol players. I don't know how many more P's I can alliterate there, but nice round from Alu as well. Got himself those 3 kills. Be happy with that.
It could be just like a nice little highlight movie from just over by forklift. You know what I mean? You had Rain doing that in the pistol round now Alu just doing a PENTA.
With USP that he gets cornered off on the site, then just like takes a deep breath, and then the base drops and he goes and gets 4 kills.
It's kind of mad. All right, so PENTA still have really good money though. That was the one thing that when they were building up, they were getting clean rounds. So FaZe have a good buy, but so do PENTA. So you're going to see all those mollies. I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being a B hit. These guys have shown real proficiency hitting that B site with all those mollies in question. And to be fair, considering AZ boosted up here, It's not a bad idea. Stefan's just spamming the smoke. He has no idea that they're actually boosting up. It's just a precaution that you take every single time.
Crystal, what was that? An early peek out of B? Maybe nades. Must have been.
Was Ali there? Or?
No, he wasn't. That's the thing. Down to 10. Even with armor, I think double nade, there's no way it would do that much damage. So it must have been an AK peek or something like that.
Yeah, it must have been very heavily tagged.
That's huge. That's also, it's information for the early peeker from FaZe, but it also means that Penta, they've got a weak limb on that part of the map, so to speak.
And considering how good he's been at that, that's actually a big deficit as well. He's been so annoying, I think is the only way I can put it. But this is a big set play towards A. You're going to expect the mollies to maybe come down off the back if they're going to do that NIP-style hit. But the issue being, with AZ in this position, he can tell you yes or no if they're coming this way. And he's going, guys, there's no one A. Yeah, they've smoked it, but there's no one here. Do not read it just yet. If you hear something elsewhere, that's where they're going, and it's going to be this B here. Jacob could be in trouble now. Surrounded on either side, he does find one. Isolates the one player coming in from the T-spawn. Sprays in towards CT, can't finish off the job, but he does leave Tarsin extraordinarily low. And Alu, what was that? Just walked straight through the smoke, trying to make something happen. But now the bomb is certainly en route towards the site itself. Molly's going to go in to try and deny the plant at the back, and it's going to do just that. My guess can no longer go for it. AZ going to go for the nade to follow up. Doesn't quite find it. Hoping he'd kill the planter if he was just on the verge. And now 2v3 retake, not an easy one.
No, definitely not. At least 2 rifles to work with here as well. No weird AWPness that we saw in that last map. But AZ has a hunch there's someone in towards A main. I mean, look, you've got all 3 main angles here cordoned off. You just need to be very, very good in these situations. It's super hard to win. It's very, very difficult to win out in that situation. Now, the reason, I think FaZe had 3 players rotate towards A earlier on, now as we do come into half-time, just because they did that damage to Crystal. They're like, it's unlikely they're going to try and force the issue through this particular access point towards B.
Yeah.
They're probably going to just try and apply pressure elsewhere. Maybe even Crystal just buggers off and goes and joins the restaurant. But not to be the case here. 7 and 8 at half, Lauren. Interesting stuff.
I don't know what to make of it. I still think this could be such a strange game because Penta, you know, their T side impressed me before. Their CT side, they are certainly no slouches. I think FaZe are in for a bit of a test here.
No doubt about it. Second half of our final map of the night coming away just after the break. Well, too easy for AZ maybe, but not for the entirety of the team, that's for sure. AZ with a perfect moment here in this 1v3 situation, but that was about it for FaZe. They really started to drop rounds left, right, and center now. It's 8-7 at the half here in favor of FaZe, so been a very, very, very close affair here. What's your take on that one as well? Where are we losing rounds here if you're FaZe fans?
everywhere you shouldn't be, I guess. You know, the fact is their money was consistently held pretty low. They were never getting that money built up particularly. They were always having these when they were winning a round, it wasn't a clean win. When, as you looked at, let's say, Penta, when they were winning rounds, they had 4 alive. You know, these sort of things, they were really robust in their rounds. Now, FaZe obviously started to lose out on money, they started to lose out on utility, and eventually Penta broke back in. And once they got a hold of it, they didn't let go. So we are live underway into the second half. FaZe do still lead, and it's their turn on the T side.
Well, we saw what they were able to do in the last pistol round there off the back of Rain, just going to another level there as well. But then they sort of dip back under and then above, and then just treading water FaZe have been doing in that last half or so. So Penta set up for a retake here. We actually saw them do this a lot against Virtus Pro here. They really give the side up on pistol rounds and try and envelop through A main. But like this, AZE is already going back, if you watch the minimap, towards A main to protect against any sort of push here on the counter boost, and the bomb's down.
Where are Keo, Alu, and AZ going? Okay, they're boosting up. They're trying to go for a late mid split. I don't know if Penta reads these this well, or they're just that aware. It's a possibility. Stefan, what is that? What is that? Those 3 shots were absolutely nuts. Now it's Jacob's turn, apparently. We're getting a masterclass in sick aim today, Mitch.
Jacob now's all on 1v2. There's a man above him on the red container, but he's managed to give them the slip for the most part. Now he needs to check towards his right in a few moments. Okay, found LOL apparently. Good news. And now it's going to be the defuse. Oh no! It's not going to happen. Stefan was 1 second away, and Jacob sticks his pistol up his nose and pulls the trigger, sends him flying into next round. What a ridiculous round. CS is not supposed to happen this way. First of all, if you watch Penta's pistol round, you know they do this. They did this against Virtus Pro. That they wrap around you in A main, they play for retakes. So already, like, FaZe should have expected there to be someone testing through mid. And then, of course, we saw what happened towards the end, just the interrupt on the defuse with 1 second left. Through smoke, no less. God darn it. Ridiculous.
That is absolutely nuts. I don't know. This game is really pulling off all the stops here. So Penta going to force up into this one, try and turn the tides back in their favor after a close round, of course. Now, Crystal does some good early work, however, overwhelmed by the sheer mass of FaZe coming towards that B site. 4 players pouring in, of course, is quite some numbers. Now, Alu's just about to commit, but actually, Penta make their push at the perfect time. My guess just hops through, does take down Alu, and that's a bomb loose. Now, FaZe have to pull it back into line, as they should, considering they have the rifles, they have the utility, and they have the time.
And the number advantage is also going to help them there as well. An extra smoke just for good measure. It's a cherry on top. It also means that Stefan can't see squat. Going to make his way in towards the lower part here. Entry towards the B side also obstructed from this avenue. So, all right, boy, it's either pull up your socks, push through the smoke and hope for the best, or sit out there and wait for the round to end. He's going to, in fact, smoke himself through, give him a gap to walk through, give him an edge of a smoke to see. But Jacob also sees him. His head goes rolling as he tries to sneak around the fringes, and FaZe bit of a weird start to this half, but they have recovered thus far. I mean, do bear in mind, with that pistol out in freakish circumstances, only FaZe things really. And now, with themselves a couple pistols back in. They've got a Mac 10, just 1 pistol for AZ here, WMP.
I don't know what to make of this game, Mitch. Because I don't believe FaZe are going to close this cleanly. It's like, oh, they've got an early start. Good stuff.
After Lauren. Stop trying to analyse it. FaZe versus PENTA Sports. At this point, all hope is lost.
No, honestly, that's not even anything against these players. It's just it's
the way the game's
hard.
going. Yeah, and now Penta, well, you're an actual eco. It's very rare you see ecos in the actual purest form, quote unquote. And they went for a stack. It's always worthwhile. If you have nothing but USPSs, stack it out and hope. Simple as that. You're not going to be able to do anything on the buy that you can force together, so you just have to do as much as you can. Now Rain's going to go hunting. He's one of the players with the SMG, so either him, Keo, or Alu will be doing as such, trying to bait him in there. And actually it works out. Good between them. It doesn't really matter if they recover this gun or not. It's not particularly huge or special. It's more the fact that they have to reinvest now, that they're getting a little bit extra money for themselves.
Well, Keo now just typed down the last 2 there as well. I mean, I'd love to see. Obviously, Yanko, our good friend, who we often have on the desk here, has all brought out a nice little video talking about how NIP execute this lovely B-take strategy, right? I'd love him to show us a video of some of FaZe's T-side strategies on this particular map, because they're the kind of team, like when you're a caster or you're trying to analyze the game or watch it, you look for repetitions, cadences, rhythms, and things that you can sort of grab on. You find a reference point in the way a team plays. You try and look for any consistent factors there as well. Purely on the nature of the way FaZe played, these are hard to find. which is why it's so interesting. And now look at this double drop down in towards mid. Tarsin in a good position to find at least one. I don't know if he knows that Jacob's there, but he sure as hell does now.
How can he get away with that? You had two players in that position ready to trade off each other, and they get away. Crystal's allowed to push up. That is perfect. Penta, that was beautiful to watch. I love that. Being able to regain mid-control after the players are actually in there. Nice stuff. Absolutely lovely. Now, Keo, you might actually take down Mike S here, and that does mean there's an AWP available. Does he go for the AWP, or does he go for the plant? Gets a bit of both. Bomb down, AWP in hand.
Mechanics. 1v4 Kiyoshima. Well, not only a player we expect to be the one popping off constantly, and that's maybe kind of why. He's more the dependent, the reliable player as well. I think if you look at this team sort of straight down, every team kind of has to have players that aren't supposed to be superstars getting all the frags or whatever like that. Kiyoshima, very, very good at playing his role. And if anything, FaZe needs more role players in their team. I think Ali also is going to be a good assistance in that regard as well. I think Michaeletti was decent at enabling other players as well in some ways. I was having a conversation about it the other day. Obviously, not in terms of his interpersonal skills, but the FaZe could use some more enablers, some more supporters, some more role players to balance out this roster of superstars.
Yeah, definitely. Big buy coming in for both sides. So this is where you might see a little bit of that. We'll see how they approach this. Does Penta do anything a little unique, a little special? Not really. Playing out pretty standard so far. They're going to boost up in defense, and Keo somehow finds a very early kill there.
Very fortuitous to find that one at such an early part of the game, especially when obviously this is that proper gun round here. So FaZe, if they want to finish this one off remotely cleanly, if we don't have to get to another photo finish, and I don't mean the one with Usain Bolt looking at the camera, that would be a FaZe won by 6 rounds. I mean the one where you can't tell who won until we have 3,000 overtimes. Then they want to try and make sure everything is done cleanly from here on out. With Mike S being off the table, like I said before, very long analogy. Point is, they need to be getting these clean holds. They need to be clearing out these corners. I think on the T side it suits them because they want to be aggressive, right? They always want to be taking. They take jewels all the time, right? Speaking of which, Tarsin going to flash himself in there and pick up Rain. Goes a little bit low there. There was a little bit of revenge damage coming in from Kiyoshima, but he wasn't able to pick up the kill. But FaZe want to take gun battles. They want to take jewels here, and I think that suits them far more on the T side than it does their CT.
Credit to Tarsin then to be able to find a quick pickup on towards Rain. It wasn't clean, as you can see. He's down on 19 HP, but to even the score up at 4v4 pretty much is massive. Crystal stays alive on 19 HP, so damage done, but the kill not found. It doesn't matter. Simple as that. You can still operate with that AWP, and Crystal is trying to spam it away, allowing players like Stefan to find the angle, punish off easy, and now back down to 3v2. Advantageous to Penta. If Tarsin didn't find that kill on Rain, that would be a different story, but Jacob, what opportunity. If only he realizes he finds what he finds too. That's beautiful. He can't close down towards Crystal. We're in the 1v1, and Alu, he's just going mad. He's going in for this one, jumping up on the box. He can't get the job done in the end. And Crystal, he doesn't have a kit, but he does have the time.
Man, Jacob. Oh, dude. Nice couple little spray downs there as well. Penta, no one puts Crystal in the corner, right? He had to sit there for most of that round waiting for the smoke to finish, for the flash to subside, for the Molotov to be done, and then he gets to come in and gets the shot. Nicely done. Now it's 9-11 there as well. So FaZe, remember, that's a round they open up with Kiyoshima getting the first pick there. And I'm like, okay, they need to just secure this a little bit more. I think their aggression sort of works for them. I think their proclivity for taking jewels works for them on the T side a bit more here. But they've got a very small buffer, a very small lead, and now they're on towards his pistols. They're forcing into this one. Keo at least has an AK. Smoke in mid as well. Fairly standard. A site being left again by Penta. So a bit of like the retake setup we actually see on Penta's pistol here. And they're set up as well to aggression towards mid and maybe sort of wrap around. Stefan at the ice cube there as well, but there's Keo, gets on towards low. This is a great opening from FaZe. They're doing it with so little. They've got a couple pistols to work with. Penta sit way back, bit of stargazing, bit of bird watching, whatever you want to call it. They're definitely not hitting the shots. Keo gets 2 with the AK, and Penta have to save.
It's all good and well playing that sort of strategy when you don't expect the T side just to walk out and hit shots like that. It's a danger you take, right? If there's... Oh, Keo, what a sick bit of play from him. Those 2 kills opened up everything. Same with AZ being able to put it off as well. You just don't get to see that every day. That sort of strategy doesn't normally allow it. Normally you've already got the angle, you don't hit those sort of shots, but hey, then there's FaZe, right? So Mike S trying to fight and then back away by a little bit of, a couple of seconds for himself to try and keep this AWP, but they are hunting for this one. They can smell blood in the water, and there you go. Rain's gonna find Mike S. Tarsin, I think, might have just made it to safety at this point. But FaZe, no matter what situation they're in, they're still so deadly. You cannot forget what sort of power these boys bring. It doesn't matter if they don't have smoke. It doesn't matter if they don't have flashes. There is always danger.
It's such fascinating CS as well to watch. A team like FaZe, I don't think there's many teams that put both their strengths and weaknesses on display simultaneously in such a strong way, in such a vivid way. You know, PENTA, I think, play very, very solid. I think their tactics are actually really good. The strategies are nailed down. But FaZe, you know, they kind of make themselves fallible. You see their fallibilities in their play and the mistakes they make, and you see their incredible individual skill in the rounds that they win.
Oh, you're absolutely spot on. And it is, they're very much wearing their flaws on their sleeve at this point, but Keo is not one of them. Keo has been a shining beacon for FaZe aim-wise, but they're actually losing out here a little hap-handed. Playing one by one, getting picked off by less than ideal buys. Now guns are available left, right, and center. See, this is the thing. You get excited about FaZe and how they play, and then they go and do this to you.
I mean, what goes around comes around, I guess. I just didn't think it would be that early or be that soon that it came back around there. Obviously, FaZe won that last round out with, again, just that sole rifler getting 2 kills. Same here. Mykes didn't start the round with a rifle, and he'll probably finish one with it, though. It's just Rain left. Molotov comes in. This will maybe force some predictive pathing from Mykes, but Rain just not able to get quite the right sharpness of angle to pick him up. It's a tap towards truck.
Don't have the bomb, Rain.
Yep, it's chilling over there under towards the forklift, but maybe that's okay because, you know, who needs the bomb right now? We still got to clear out some of these guys. Give me Molotov over towards truck.
This works. It forces him off the corner, so now Rain has freedom. He's got 35 seconds. Now he's going to use that time from the molly to try and find that other player. Now he doesn't know where Crystal is, but he's got a good idea that he could be at Highway now because there's one place he hasn't checked. Problem being, good utility on the CT side to play this retake. Can he find another 1v1? Still spots out Tarsin, expecting Crystal here. He's going to hear that nade where it possibly came from as well. So he's got a decent picture. This is very tough for him, though. He's playing a very mental game here.
There goes the spray down. Comes in, surely not. Okay, Rain only gets the one there as well. We were wondering whether Crystal would stay at Highway and try and challenge from that different angle. But if you back away to someone like Quad, it can actually be easy to peek either side and actually get 2 1v1s there. So reasonable, fairly cerebral play there, though, coming out from Rain in that situation. See how it all came down. Utility wasn't even a factor here as well. They just went for the double peek. Tarsin was a little bit, it was like a step behind as well.
Like, if you look to that spray back, you can see it hitting the wall like a mile above him. Oh, CSGO, man. Sometimes very frustrating. He played it very well, though. That was actually very beautifully played from him. Very smart game. This normally spurs FaZe on. This is normally when they pick up the pace. They get a little bit frustrated. They lose a couple of rounds here and there, so want to pick up the pace. But this double play through Squeaky's going to catch off Keo a little bit, make him a little more humble here. But Stefan needs to be careful crossing back out. You don't know if they have that main control still. Going to be smoked off by Z.
I like this.
And here we go.
So now mid-control for FaZe. They really take mid-control here, not just pushing defense on towards B here. Boosting up Jacob on towards the sugar cube, and then Ali actually finds Stefan now as well. That's a nice little pickup. That was actually from the boost, if I'm not mistaken. So now Crystal goes down as well. FaZe being a little bit more methodical, picking them apart bit by bit, putting that AWP to work, and also the mid presence now starting to yield dividends for FaZe. Mykes falls down. That's Ali finally get another one. That was a peek out towards A main, and now Lol's all on his own here. Tarsin going to try and come in through, but it's going to be Rain to catch him by time he gets the truck, and Lol, well, his head's going to roll, and it's going to be 13-10 for FaZe there as well. Good turnaround. A very different FaZe than we've seen the last few rounds. They come in very different shades, Lauren.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to get here. Considering PENTA are going to be on a less than ideal buy, they're going to force on this one, yeah. This is the thing. These are the rounds where we see PENTA actually start picking up because FaZe lose a little bit of that, sharpness to their rounds. I'm hoping we get to see like a nice set piece. One of those B pieces where you get, the mollies coming down, a little bit of everything being utilized. And it actually might be the case here. We've actually got Norton playing B for PENTA at the moment. Mykes has to come back around for it. I think they were thinking about a stack maybe, averted that, and God. It is the set piece. It's coming through right about now. Mykes just saw it all though. Good flash, doesn't quite close down towards AZ though, and it should be the punishment time now. Crystal's found AZ. Keo replies towards him, and now for V3, this is very favorable towards FaZe. Finally, they have a clean round.
The PENTA can't set their feet anywhere. They're constantly running, and normally the running gun works for Stefan, but not when he's just got a 5-7 here set up in towards vent. It's more of an opportunistic position. It's more of a refrag, a trade position. But Stefan has to go and face a music call on his own, and Ali just plays, at least he dances to a different tune. It's going to be the AWP that rings through. It's a 14-10. FaZe now within spitting distance of the end. We've seen them get close. But surely FaZe have given themselves enough of a buffer now, especially with PENTA having to go for nothing. They have to pretty much play for overtime here.
Overtime.
Don't say that word. I just said that word. Let's not both say that word. Let's both agree not to say that word.
Extra time.
Non-normal time. Extraordinary time. That's a nice way of putting it,
Incredible
isn't it?
time.
Yeah.
You want some incredible time with Penta and FaZe, do you?
I love incredible time. There it is. Tarson. Not so incredible times for him.
Bad times.
No.
Bad touch.
He has a third
5-2.
eye.
Mike S and LOL trying to do anything. It's a bit of a shooting gallery in mid at the moment. Bodies strewn everywhere. Bit of a massacre. And well, it's claimed one victim.
Big fat all up, sons.
There we go. Kio's got it. No worries. 15-10. Now, Mitch, let's talk about that special time you had.
Well, I haven't had special time yet. I'm hoping this is some special time.
Yeah? For Penta?
Yeah, for Penta. Yeah. Was that not apparent to you?
I didn't know. You could be favourable to either.
I like some Penta special time, to be honest.
15-10. Hopefully it's not just a phase for Mitch. We'll find out. Smokes will be put up mid. It looks like the crisscross towards mid, so you're going to go for the stack, try and isolate in on pushing towards mid. This is something that I really like to see being done. It kind of teases that it's that B play, but nice run boost. Pulls that off
Smooth.
real smooth. And that's going to cause a bit of an issue here. Now, they're not sure if this has happened. They need to be careful about this. They need to spam it out. Get a glimpse. This is going to take some time here. Oh, they've heard it. They heard it all.
Oh my.
AZ, you dirty git. Just going to spam away lols on 29 HP going, how could this happen already? Already tagged up this low. FaZe really looking towards A here. These mollies coming in are kind of cementing that. They're making it look even worse. Lol, how unfortunate can you get in such a big round?
Yeah, I mean, he went low already. Obviously, that fire is going to spread a little bit after his first sticks came through. He should have known that. In fact, he probably did. He didn't expect it to end that way. And now AZ finds Mike S. There's just 3 players left for Penta, and it looks like FaZe are going to press their advantage on towards his A side. The bomb heading its way over. Stefan thinks about flashing this. Instead, tries to take the fight, but is cut down. It's a headshot from Jacob. Now Tarson trying to hold default spot here, but Jacob's not going to just walk around the corner unprotected. No, it's going to be Rain coming in from the other side. And we know when Rain flies sideways, you're screwed.
That phrasing is just fantastic. There's nothing like it. But it has left Crystal in a very undesirable situation. No kit to hand, so he has to fight in as, well, with pretty much all he has to his name, which is very little. And Alu reminds him even more of that, as FaZe do pull ahead finally in the cash game and close it down.
Yep, they do. It's a bit more of a convincing victory than we saw earlier on in the evening on Mirage, which ostensibly, ladies and gents, if you've been following along at home, should be a map in which FaZe are quite dominant. However, somehow, amongst all the back and forth, they do take the 2-0 away from these games here as well. So that, for FaZe, is an incredibly burgeoning force for them. They're very, very close to the top of the ladder, if not